All right, let's just jump right into it. The crypto market just got rocked by a massive shockwave, and it is all about Bitcoin. So we're going to break down exactly what just happened, why it happened, and what some of the biggest names in the space are saying about it right now.
So the date is November 15th, 2025, and for anyone who's been glued to their screen today, it has been an absolute roller coaster. The market was already kind of tense, but what just went down, it completely shattered a huge psychological barrier.
And this is the number that has everybody talking. Bitcoin's price took a nosedive, crashing below that critical $100,000 mark to trade under 95 grand. I mean, what a stunning, rapid move. It wiped billions off the market cap in just a few hours.
So the big question on everyone's mind right now is, how did we get here? And how did it happen so fast? What was the trigger for this sell-off? And what does it all mean for the near future? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of this whole dramatic event.
Okay, first things first, let's really break down the plunge itself. Because this wasn't some slow bleed over a few days. No, this was a sudden, violent drop that pretty much caught everyone off guard.
And just to put this into perspective for you, it feels like just yesterday, but it was just recently, Bitcoin was cruising along pretty comfortably around $105,000. Today, it plunged to below $95,000. That is a massive drop from the recent peak, and it happened with just breathtaking speed. And get this, look at the volume that was behind this move. During that crazy sharp drop, something like 27,500 Bitcoin changed hands. This wasn't just a little dip from a few small sellers. Oh no, this was a sell-off with some serious weight behind it. So, okay, what are the charts telling us? To really wrap our heads around today's chaos, we've got to look at the key price levels that all the traders were watching like hawks. And the absolute key battleground, the line in the sand, was that $100,000 level. For weeks, everybody saw this as a major floor, not just technically on the charts, but psychologically, in the minds of investors. And today, that floor just completely gave way. And as you can see here, that major support at 100K, it's broken. It's now in the rearview mirror. The price has fallen into what traders are calling the next support zone, somewhere between 94 and 96,000. So for any kind of recovery, Bitcoin has a real fight on its hands. It's got to claw its way back up, first through resistance at 105, and then there's an even stronger wall to break through above 110. This slide really captures the tension in the market right now. On one side, the risks are super clear. The price is now below key resistance levels, and that crucial $100,000 support level has failed. But on the other side, there are some signs that could be favorable. A huge volume spike like the one we just saw can sometimes mean the sellers are exhausted, and that can lead to a balance. And yeah, rising volatility is scary for sure, but it also means the potential for a really strong recovery is also on the table.
So with all the technical stuff laid out, how are the major players in the crypto space actually reacting? Well, as you can probably imagine, opinions are sharply divided. For some people, this isn't a crisis at all. It's an opportunity.
Tether's CEO Paolo Ardoino had a really clear and, let's say, punchy take on what happened today. He just called it Bitcoin Black Friday. And that one phrase frames this entire price collapse not as some disaster, but as a big discount sale for anyone who believes in the long-term game.
And you know what? Ardoino isn't the only one seeing a buying opportunity here. One of the most well-known figures in the institutional Bitcoin world has been super vocal today, pushing back hard against all the fear.
And that figure is, of course, Michael Saylor. As these rumors started swirling around that his company's Strategy might be dumping its massive Bitcoin holdings, he came out with this direct, unambiguous denial. He just stated flatly, there is no truth to any of those rumors. But he didn't just stop at denying the selling rumors. Nope, he went a step further, revealing that his company has actually been actively buying more. His quote, "That strategy bought Bitcoin every day this week," is just such a powerful statement of conviction, especially in the face of a market that's bleeding like this. Okay, so we have the buy the dip crowd loud and clear. But there's another perspective that's just as important to hear, and it's a pretty stark reminder of the risks that are always involved in this market. And that warning comes from Eric Trump, who had this piece of advice for pretty much anyone watching today's price action with a weak stomach. He basically said to stay out of crypto if you can't handle volatility. It's blunt, for sure, but it's also a fair assessment of what it takes to be in this game, especially on a day like today. All right, so let's do a quick recap of this wild ride today. Number 1, a sharp, high-volume drop that absolutely shattered that critical $100,000 support level.
Number 2, this kicked off a totally divided reaction, with some calling it a Black Friday sale. And number 3, this really highlights the two completely different strategies playing out right now. The staunch believers are buying this dip, while others are warning everyone about the intense, brutal volatility.
And all of that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? As prices are plunging and you've got fear mixing with all this opportunism, is the real gamble trying to catch a falling knife? Or is it staying on the sidelines and maybe, just maybe, missing the sale of the year? Definitely something to think about.